Aliza Sherman was 53 years old, a mother of 4, and a nurse who spent her days helping women have children they had almost given up hoping for. On the afternoon of March 24, 2013, she drove to downtown Cleveland to meet her divorce attorney, but she never made it through the door. Aliza Sherman grew up in Beechwood, Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland, the daughter of parents who had survived the Holocaust before immigrating to the United States in the 1950s. She went on to study nursing at Cleveland State University and built a life in the city where she was raised. Aliza had 4 children: Jennifer, Jason, Jeremy, and a 4th child whose name has not been widely published in reports on the case. She was the kind of mother her son Jason described as simply doing everything: taking the kids to school every day, picking them up every day, cleaning the house, cooking every meal, going to every sporting event and concert, and everything else. Literally just anything you needed, he said. Anyone needed. She would be there. Her choice of career was not incidental. Aliza worked as an in vitro fertilization nurse at the Cleveland Clinic, first at a Beechwood branch from 2003, then at the main Cleveland Clinic campus from 2006. The work of an IVF nurse is to be present at one of the most vulnerable moments in a person's life, the point where hope is being held by science. Jennifer described it as connected to who her mother was at the core. Aliza prized family above all else. It was the reason she worked in that department. She was helping women fulfill their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th chances at building families of their own. She had been married to a man named Dr. Sanford Sherman for more than 30 years. Sanford had been an ophthalmologist with a practice in Severance Circle. They had built their life together in Beechwood, in a 2-story, 5-bedroom house on Penshurst Drive, about 4 miles from where Aliza had grown up. For a long time, to the outside world, the life they built looked complete. Beechwood police were called to the Sherman house on Penshurst Drive 22 times between November 2000 and the time Aliza was killed. Whatever the Sherman marriage looked like from the outside, from the inside it had been something else for a very long time. According to their children and police records, the couple fought frequently. In December 2004, a 9-year-old Jeremy called 911 because he was frightened when a fight broke out between his parents, an argument over a dreidel game at Hanukkah. That detail, small and domestic and quietly devastating, says something about what life on Penshurst Drive had been like for the children growing up in that house. Sanford had closed his ophthalmology practice in 2004 after his office assistant of 18 years quit and moved to Nevada. Rather than hire and train a replacement, he shut the practice down. Aliza, who had been focused on raising their children, went back to work. She returned to nursing and eventually found her way to the Cleveland Clinic's IVF department. Meanwhile, Sanford spent weeks at a time at a vacation home in Florida or in New York. The financial dynamics of the marriage had shifted. According to court records and depositions, the tensions that came with that shift did not go away. In 2011, Aliza filed for divorce from Sanford. On the recommendation of a longtime friend, she hired a lawyer named Joe Stafford from Stafford & Stafford, a firm known in Cleveland for high-profile divorce cases. Aliza believed retaining Stafford might give her an advantage in the proceedings. But the divorce did not move quickly or cleanly. Sanford pushed back. He urged Aliza to attend counseling and consider reconciliation. Aliza told her attorney that she believed his push for counseling was a manipulative attempt to regain control and that his behavior would not change. Despite that, she continued living in the Penshurst Drive house with Sanford for a year and a half after filing for divorce. She was trying to protect the stability of the children still at home. She prized family above all else, even a family that had broken. At some point, the case transferred within the firm, and Aliza found herself working with a different attorney, a man named Gregory Moore. The divorce trial was eventually scheduled to begin on March 26, 2013. It was a contested proceeding, and there was a great deal at stake. 2 days before it was set to begin, Aliza drove to downtown Cleveland to meet with her attorney at his office in Erie View Plaza. She never made it inside the building. What happened on the afternoon of March 24, 2013 in downtown Cleveland was not a random crime. Someone was waiting for Aliza Sherman outside that building. And the question that would take investigators 12 years to bring before a grand jury was why, and who had put them there. Just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Aliza arrived at 75 Erie View Plaza in downtown Cleveland. She was there to meet with her divorce attorney in preparation for the trial that was now 2 days away. She was on the sidewalk outside the building. In the blink of an eye, someone stabbed her 11 times. Once in the right arm, twice in the right side of her neck, 8 times in the back. The attacker fled. An employee inside the building heard screams from outside and called 911. A witness on the street found Aliza on the sidewalk. The witness said she was clearly trying to speak. The only words he could make out were, "I'm dying." Aliza was rushed to Metro Health Medical Center. At 6:14 in the evening, she died.
About the murder of Aliza Sherman. The medical examiner's website says Sherman was stabbed 11 times with wounds on her head, neck, back, and right arm. The Cleveland Clinic nurse was heading to her lawyer's office when she was attacked a little more than a week ago. She and her husband were in the middle of a divorce. Police have not yet identified a suspect.
March 26, 2013, the date the divorce trial was scheduled to begin, came and went. Aliza's loved ones spent the day planning her funeral instead. On March 28th, more than 600 people packed into a Cleveland Heights chapel to remember her. Colleagues from the Cleveland Clinic, family, friends, people whose lives she had been part of in ways large and small for years. The crime scene gave investigators almost nothing to work with in terms of immediate physical evidence. There were no witnesses to the stabbing itself. The murder weapon was never found. It has never been found. The building at 75 Erie View Plaza had surveillance cameras. On April 22, 2013, nearly a month after the murder, police released a 10-second clip of the footage they had. It showed a hooded figure, face covered, leaving the scene at speed. The person in the footage was disguised. Their identity was not apparent from the footage alone. But there was a problem with the surveillance footage that would later take on enormous significance. 20 minutes of video from the building's cameras, footage that covered the relevant time period, had been deleted. Whoever had access to that system, or whoever had instructed someone with access, had ensured that the most useful footage from the day of the murder no longer existed. Voicemails from the building's call system had also been deleted. Police noted that Aliza had received communications from her attorney's office asking her to come in that day. Moore had apparently texted her saying he was in his office and needed to meet with her to prepare for the trial. Investigators later established that Moore had in fact left the building more than an hour before the incident. He was not in his office. He had told Aliza he was there when he was not. Those contradictions made the investigation's focus clear, at least in terms of the most important individuals to examine. 2 men were at the center of the public and investigative scrutiny that followed Aliza's murder: her estranged husband of 31 years, and the attorney she had trusted to get her out of that marriage. Both had questions to answer. Neither provided the answers investigators needed, and the case stayed cold for a very long time as a result. The first person investigators looked at was Sanford Sherman. He was the estranged husband. The divorce trial was 2 days away. According to court records, the marriage had been troubled for years. Police had been called to the home 22 times. The couple fought. There were significant financial stakes in the proceedings. And Aliza was dead 2 days before the trial was set to begin. Police wanted to interview Sanford. He hired his own attorney and declined to cooperate. Not once, not ever. For the rest of his life, Sanford Sherman refused to speak to investigators about his wife's murder. He was never officially named as a suspect by police. He moved to Florida after Aliza's death, and in the summer of 2024, Dr. Sanford Sherman died in Florida. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation confirmed they had been informed of his death as part of their ongoing investigation into Aliza's case. They confirmed they had never been able to interview him. The second person investigators looked at was Gregory Moore. Moore was Aliza's own attorney. He had arranged the meeting that brought her to Erie View Plaza that afternoon. He had told her he was in his office when he was not. The surveillance footage from the building had been deleted, 20 minutes worth. The voicemails had been deleted. Moore had also contradicted himself in statements to investigators. In 2016, a team reporter confronted Moore on camera about the case. Moore denied any involvement. The following year, in 2017, Moore pleaded guilty to 2 charges: lying to investigators about his whereabouts on the day of the murder and making bomb threats to local courthouses. Those bomb threats investigators believed had been made to delay court proceedings, the same kind of delay that might benefit someone connected to an ongoing contested divorce. He was sentenced to 180 days in jail, 3 years of community control, and 150 hours of community service. He resigned his law license. Moore maintained he had nothing to do with Aliza's death. The murder charges at that point had not been filed. The case remained officially unsolved. For 8 years, the case was carried by Cleveland police, and for 8 years the family held rallies, gathered at the spot where Aliza died, and waited. The reward money climbed to $100,000, believed to be the largest in Cuyahoga County history. And every year, the same questions remained unanswered. Who was the hooded figure in the 10-second video? Where was the weapon? Who had deleted the footage? Every year, Aliza's family returned to 75 Erie View Plaza at 5 in the afternoon on March 24th. They marked the anniversary. They gathered. How she died will never define the magnificent woman she was, Jennifer said, but she deserves for us to go there once a year to remember what happened. The Justice for Aliza rallies continued for years. The family kept fighting publicly. Aliza's son, Jason, had followed his mother into medicine. He became a pediatrician at the Cleveland Clinic's Beechwood Family Health Center, the same location where Aliza had worked for years. Cleveland police maintained the case was open and active. But as years passed without an arrest, the family's frustration was palpable. In the summer of 2021, the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation took over the Sherman case from Cleveland police. The BCI brought fresh eyes and new tools. The family described it as a turning point. The technology available to investigators in 2021 was meaningfully different from what had existed in 2013. The breakthrough in this case did not come from a witness. It did not come from someone walking in off the street with information. It came from investigators going back through phone records and electronic device data with tools and techniques that had not been available when Aliza was killed. And what that analysis showed was a very specific pattern of behavior on March 24, 2013, that investigators said painted an unmistakable picture. According to the indictment filed by the Cuyahoga County Grand Jury in May 2025, on the day of Aliza's murder, Gregory Moore disconnected his phone from the cell phone network for 3 hours. That disconnection meant his phone would not generate location data during that period. It was, the indictment alleged, a deliberate step to ensure that records would not track his movements. After the murder, Moore resumed contact. He kept texting Aliza. He sent messages to a woman he knew, by that point, was dead. The indictment also detailed the deleted surveillance footage, 20 minutes of video covering the relevant time window, gone from the building's system. The deleted voicemails. The communications that had brought Aliza to Erie View Plaza that afternoon, which the indictment described as a lure. According to prosecutors, Moore had asked Aliza to come to the office where he claimed to be, with no intention of actually meeting her there. The purpose, the indictment alleged, was to bring her to a specific place at a specific time. The motive, as spelled out by the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office, was this: Moore did not want the divorce trial to proceed. He had been erratic and unprepared. He had pushed the case back multiple times. Prosecutors alleged that Moore orchestrated Aliza's killing in order to make her unavailable for a trial that he was not ready for. On May 2, 2025, 12 years and 39 days after Aliza was stabbed on the sidewalk outside 75 Erie View Plaza, a Cuyahoga County grand jury secretly indicted Gregory Moore. U.S. Marshals found Gregory Moore in Austin, Texas. He was arrested there following the unsealing of the indictment. He waived his extradition hearing in Texas and was brought back to Cuyahoga County on May 24, 2025. He was arraigned via video on May 28, 2025. He faced 1 count of aggravated murder, 1 count of conspiracy, 6 counts of murder, and 2 counts of kidnapping. The conspiracy charge alleged that Moore had worked with at least 1 other unnamed individual to lure Aliza to the location and cause her death. Moore pleaded not guilty to all charges. His bond was set at $2 million. The judge ordered him to have no contact with Aliza's family and required him to provide a DNA sample. As of the time this documentary was made, Gregory Moore has not been tried. He is legally presumed innocent. The criminal proceedings are still ongoing. Sanford Sherman, the estranged husband who refused to speak to investigators for the last decade of his life, died in Florida in 2024 without ever giving police an account of what he knew or did not know. He was never officially named as a suspect. Now there is a case in the courts, a name on a charge sheet, a trial ahead. Whether it delivers the answers Aliza's family has been waiting for is something that has not yet been determined. Aliza Sherman was 53 years old. She had 4 children who loved her and have spent more than a decade fighting to make sure the circumstances of her death did not become the whole of her story. Jennifer said, "How she died will never define the magnificent woman she was." She was right. Remember her name. If Aliza's story stayed with you, subscribe and hit the bell right now, because this case is still unfolding. An indictment is not a verdict. A trial is coming. And when it does, this channel will cover it. You will not want to miss what comes next. Leave a comment and tell me what part of this case stayed with you. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Until next time.